So you played Astral Chain.
I did.
Yes.
So that leads really well into our next topic, which we'll do a little mini review.
We all played it.
Yeah, it's actually the first game we've all beaten since Pokemon, I think.
It's kind of crazy, yeah.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon wasn't that long ago.
Nah.
Long enough, though. It's the first game we've all beaten of 2020.
No.
That we've all
No, we
beaten.
all have beaten.
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah,
three
yeah,
of us
yeah,
have
yeah.
beaten together.
That's
And we
true.
only did it on one copy. Think of the money we saved.
Approximately $160.
It's pretty good.
And you know what we couldn't do?
Play
This one?
multiplayer?
If it was digital.
If this was digital.
Oh, okay. I was going to say we could have played multiplayer. We just didn't.
Oh, we could have
Yes.
played co-op, but
Yeah.
we didn't.
Because it's different controllers.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think we should, let's do the full review.
Okay, we got the guidelines on the phone because we don't want to make it 3 hours.
don't wanna ramble.
Because we could. As we've discussed before in like our early Lost Infinity War episode, we
can ramble
We
for
can
a
keep
very
going
long
forever.
time.
So the very first thing we're going to start with is previous experience with Platinum games. I'll start because mine will be the fastest. I have none.
You've never played anything.
I never played any Bayonetta games. I never played.
Near.
Oh well, so I technically played the first Nier.
I don't think that was
I
Platinum.
was gonna say because that looks
I think
nothing.
I think that's just Square. I'd have
That
to go
looked
check.
nothing like any of the other ones. It was a completely different fighting style. Other than like it was dark. I mean, that's about all I can say. That maybe. has
What
some
about
of these other ones.
Scalebound?
That's the reason I bought an Xbox One. Still haven't played it. It's weird.
Yeah, it was just Square.
Yeah. Okay. So I've never played a what do we? What's the company
Platinum.
called? A Platinum game before. This is the very first one.
Okay.
So I guess get into one of you two. Hopefully you guys have a little bit more experience than me.
So the only one, so I've always wanted to play Bayonetta. That's kind of been a game that I've been super interested in touching, but probably by the time that I was interested in playing it, I had moved on to PlayStation 4, and it was a previous gen game, and I never touched it. And it kind of began to be like harder to find. And then I know Bayonetta 2 was launched on the Wii U.
The Wii U. Yeah.
So I never had the opportunity to play that. Now, Nier Automata, though, that was like one game that I had seen a lot of fanfare for. A lot of people be really hyped about.
That booty.
And
Big cult following game, you know?
a huge cult following. So I decided to pick it up when it was on sale. I bought it for $30 back in the day. And do you know that much about it?
Yeah, so I have a friend who's like a weird weeb fuck named Jimmy. So obviously he loves the game.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yep.
he obviously loves it. It's a fact. That's like the culture but behind like,
Hashtag Jimmy shoutout.
behind like those people. They just love that game. Like he was like obsessed with it. He still loves it to this day. I never played the game.
Do you know that much about like how the story goes?
No, but I've played all the stuff from Final Fantasy 14 near crossover. So.
Okay. So the interesting thing about it is to fully beat the game, you have to do it technically 3 times.
Yeah,
on
the
3
Nier
different paths.
original Nier had like 8 different endings
Yeah.
too. So
So you beat the game fully once, then you have to reload, play through it again pretty much identically. And then there's a third path once you beat it the second time that's a completely new story with a new character. Now, I had played through it once. I was like, this is all right. The story was cool, but I felt like the combat was kind of not the greatest. Then I started playing through it the second time. It was nearly identical as the first time.
nearly.
Yes. And I was just like, yo, I don't want to replay this. Like I just played like 15 hours of this. Why would I do that?
I'm not one of those guys either. In stuff like Tales games before, I've beaten it. Then you get access to like a whole
The
like
gold
new
system and everything?
Yeah, it's like cool. The grade system.
Great, yeah.
It's like cool and that kind of stuff. But I can't just play a game a second time immediately after a first.
Yeah.
it could be my favorite game in the world. I can't just beat it once and be like, that's so good. It's time to do it again and go right back into
I've
it.
done it with a couple games, but not.
It's
never
the same
been me.
thing with Resident Evil. Like, and I know that there's like small little changes as far as the 2 paths go, but there's a lot of similarities. And for me, I got through about half of that second playthrough, and I'm just like, I'm exhausted on this. I don't even care about the third.
Did you play Leon first, then Claire?
Yeah.
Did you get to the orphanage?
I can't remember. That's a year ago, maybe.
So would you say that you've beaten Nier Automata?
No, because the third ending is technically like the real.
The true ending.
Yeah.
Just to give you some reference here, in original Nier, one of the secret endings had you flying through a portal to Tokyo on giant babies.
Okay, that's weird.
It was also linked to Drakengard.
It was so Nier is a spin-off of one of the random endings from Drakengard. So the Nier timeline branches from the most random.
That's so weird.
Because I have played and beaten Drakengard, and it's a very fucked up game.
It is a fucked up
with
game.
a bunch of endings, and I just remember that was one of them.
The mask guy was cool.
So
There were a lot of cool
Kime?
people.
Kane? No, I'm thinking Kime
I think,
Argonar.
well, the main character is Kane.
Is it Kane?
Pretty sure
That's been a while.
he has to give up his tongue, or I guess just his voice.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I pretty much as far as like sound design and everything, I really liked Nier, but just the way that the story was outlined, I understand that it's really inventive and creative, but just for me at that point in time, I wasn't interested. The thing is I ended up trading it in. I traded it in for like $25 too, so I didn't even really lose that much money on it. But after playing Astral Chain, I'm like, yo,
It'll come out on Switch.
Yeah.
if it comes out on Switch, I'll rebuy it. But I'm like, yo, I really want to replay it. I want to play it again.
But that's your only platinum game?
That's the only one I've ever played.
Okay, the long one.
That was a bad knuckle crack.
I couldn't actually. There we go. But so I have played Mad World. I have played Bayonetta. I have played Vanquish. I've played Anarchy Reigns. I've played Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I've played Wonderful 101, Bayonetta 2, Transformers Devastation, Star Fox Zero, Nier Automata for a bit, and Astral Chains.
Chain. I've never heard of Astral Chains.
Astral Chain. I keep putting an S at the end. But so I played a lot of platinum games. My favorite for the longest time was Metal Gear Rising. That game is fantastic.
Is it as good as Survive?
Shut up. It's
What about the Phantom Pain?
that's not platinum.
I just assume all Metal Gears are the same.
No, this is so Metal Gear Solid are like stealth action shooters. Metal Gear Solid Rising, you play a cyborg ninja running
Yeah,
around with a
I
sword
remember that
cutting
game.
people.
It was actually one of the only ones I looked interested in.
It's fantastic.
you just like cut shit in half, and I liked it.
Now playing Astral Chains,
Playing what?
fuck, Astral Chain, fuck off. I think this is probably their best game. I think it's phenomenal.
It's definitely the best one I've played of theirs.
Oh, thanks.
So that's our past experience.
yeah.
So we're going to jump right into story. So we got this separated into three parts. We have characters, setting, and plot. Quickest way is just to go through the characters first because there's not tons of them. Like there are a lot of them, but like how many of them matter?
Okay, I want to say something first. Some of the characters are the most cookie cutter characters I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's true.
A lot of them.
I've seen enough anime that
Like every
they popped
character.
onto the screen and I'm like, oh, that's this character.
Like literally every character is like you could,
yeah.
like even like the main characters, like Jin, for instance.
Yeah,
He's in every anime that's ever existed. There's
Yeah.
always been a Jin.
He's like the dad's best friend who like down on his
The
luck.
only characters I will argue that were different than a lot of other ones were Alicia was actually semi-different.
Yep.
I kind of liked it.
Lappy.
Lappy, or also I liked Maria. Not at all related to Lappy.
No,
but she
different
was
characters.
She was a cool character. But I mean, even like the main character,
Kyle
like,
was cool.
Kyle was my
What
favorite.
a stupid fucking name.
No,
for a
that's
They
cat.
the
all
best
have
part.
like English first names and then like weird Japanese names.
But he
Did you
does.
not notice that?
It was the opposite for the main characters,
Akira and
yeah,
Jin.
yeah.
but their last name was Howard.
Yeah.
So they had Japanese first names and
Yeah,
English
okay.
last
But
I guess
names.
like,
that's true.
that's just such a stupid fucking name for like a
loved
guy
it,
that
though.
looks so cool.
That's the best part.
Kyle.
There has to be like a picture of Kyle holding a monster. There has to be one.
There probably
His
is.
little like mask popped up.
Instead of like whatever the like the liquid they're giving away kind of thing,
Yeah.
he's just giving Monster all of his.
There has to be a meme. There, and if there
if there
isn't,
isn't, somebody make it.
but for the
Yes.
most part, the main character, even Akira, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's the main character's name? Like if you play the girl, like what's the guy's name?
Akira.
Are they both Akira? Oh, okay, never mind then.
wow.
But yeah, so like the basic as hell. Like even like the sister, I saw all the plot coming
Jenna?
with her. Jenna, I liked.
I
Jenna
did
was
like
one of the
Jenna.
only characters
Yes.
I liked because she was insane. Who could have in the world? Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, this will be a full spoiler one. So
who could have predicted that the one guy was evil?
his name was
Yosef.
Yosef.
Yeah.
The mad professor, he's like, "Don't worry, I'll take care of
Yeah,
her."
when like your sister's injured, he's like, no, he's like,
Brother?
I'll take care of her. Like, shut up. There's only one true character played, and it's the male.
No.
Yep.
No.
Did you like at the end how they talk? It's actually their voice when they're doing like the epilogue. Like it's your main character.
I didn't catch that.
No, it's your main character, which is cool. But yeah, I think the only real things we can say about characters, I'm sure everyone, who's everyone's favorite character?
Lappy.
Lappy is mine as well, but I would probably say story wise, I really like Jenna.
You guys are missing my favorite character.
Kyle,
No,
the hermit guy.
Hal. Yeah,
Hal's great,
Hal
yeah.
was the best. He literally, it's kind of like your Mimir in like God of War.
Yeah, he's your little bitch.
Without
Who follows
Hal
you.
there, a lot of times there would have been no conversation, right? He's in there just added for conversation and like.
I kind of liked
humor.
Olive too. She was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, once again, there are like a lot of basic
Yeah.
bitch side.
Oh, there's a
characters.
lot of bitch. Like Brenda.
Yeah. Like,
Why so many fucking basic ass names?
but then even like you meet all the other people in there too. Like you can talk to like all of them basically.
Yeah.
I don't even remember any of their names right now. It's all
Jin
blanking.
something and
Jack maybe was one
Yeah.
of them.
Bill.
Yeah, they're all pretty boringly
Timothy.
named.
So characters not crazy. I mean, the game's
No.
obviously very like weeby in the sense like very very like anime inspired kind of thing.
Oh, anime inspired. You think? What's the main character's name?
I don't know.
Akira.
Well, no, that's your sister's
Sorry,
name.
sibling's name.
I don't. My main character's name was Cammy. So
I don't remember what I named mine. But okay, so Akira.
Yes.
What's the first level in the game?
You drive the bike.
What anime movie has something to do with an anime bike?
Tron.
The bike.
Why didn't I see?
There's an anime called Akira.
I assume
have
that
seen
everybody
that.
here
I've
has seen
Oh,
Akira.
you've seen Akira?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say if he hasn't seen Akira, I'd be disappointed.
Oh, good boy.
That's like one of the. I watched that shit in like high school.
They've
Yeah,
been
it's great.
saying about that remake, like the live action Akira, that's supposed to be starring Garrett Hedlund for like 10 years, and I'm mad every time I find out it's not coming out.
I don't think it'll be good.
It won't ever come out. It's,
I know,
it's like a
but-
fact at this point.
but
But
anywho,
I love
How
Garrett
sick
Hedlund.
was the bike in the beginning though? That
was-
shit was dope.
That is
They
the
only
most
use it, like,
octane
twice in the entire game.
Yeah. The most octane part, like, or not part of the game, but the most octane start to a game that's been in a long
yeah.
time. Where they're just like, hey, you're on a motorcycle, shoot things, dodge, do it better.
Yeah, I'm sad they didn't utilize it more.
Me too.
But we'll get into that more through gameplay. But then we're going to talk about the setting. So setting is obviously like
Cyber future
yeah,
time.
like Tokyo, probably like Japan.
Yeah, I thought a lot of the buildings, the way it was designed, I kind of wish that it was a little bit more open world as far as not being as linear in some parts. I wish that you could walk around.
Yeah, if there was more like even like the
Like the square.
Harmony Square where you go sometimes, it's a nice big open area. If they
Yeah.
would have made it a little bit bigger, kind of made it like the hub in between, there's like side missions stuff like that. It could have been pretty cool.
And
Yeah.
I thought that sometimes when you do go over to the like other plane, I felt that some of the designs looked a little bit basic and just kind of copy and paste.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
So the system could handle boss or battles
Yeah.
is 100% why.
It's true. So the
It's like
main
the boss fight dimension.
yeah, the main place is called the Ark, and then it's the Astral Plane.
Yes.
Is the other one. The Ark was cool. Like I liked your main hub is obviously like the police station.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, I mean
I didn't really go around it too often.
Once you got the lappy power to like jump from place to place, I didn't walk at all.
I mean, yeah, I pretty much stopped walking too. But for the most part of the game, like up until like chapter like file 6 or 7, I didn't upgrade anything. I didn't upgrade my
Really?
weapons, nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Oh shit! I did like
So that means when I went to like the hub world, I did like nothing because I wasn't other than
my
like,
weapon was
checking-
level 9 by the time I beat.
How
the
many
game.
times
Or
did you
8.
guys give toilet paper though to the
6 times.
ghost in the stall?
I did not do that at all.
Really?
No.
No.
I'm interested when we go through some gameplay spots to talk about things other people didn't do that
Yeah.
we did. Did you? But so like you think the astral plane is a little?
I thought it was
plane?
a little
That's
bit.
why it's called that.
I thought it was a little bland in some spots. But I could I can understand.
It's
why it
it's
was
very
like that.
standard. Like every time you go in there, you kind of get like the new Legion,
Yeah.
and then like for that next section, you have to use that Legion's power like a lot to
Yeah.
get to like the spot of the boss.
I really would have liked it if they kind of changed up the color scheme. Maybe
Yeah, instead of just all the red and black.
Yeah, like if they maybe did some like green.
It's
or
their
some
theme
blue.
though. Good guys blue, bad guys red. Like
Yeah.
that's their theme.
Like Star Wars.
But I think as the game progressed, it would have been cool to see just like different colors or at different times. Or
You know you could
different
change your Legion's
legions.
colors, right?
Yes, I
Yes.
did know that.
You have to S rank missions though.
But I just think the plane they could have done that a little bit differently.
I agree. I mean, you can see why they did it from like a like
Design.
a design and
standpoint,
like
for sure.
you know like
Prop like able to play.
yeah, like they wanted everything else to feel smooth, so you had to get rid of some things in that
Yeah.
sense. But it's still worth talking about that it wasn't the best setting. A lot of the places on the arc actually were really nice though. Like I know you didn't like the part, but the hermit section I really liked.
No, I thought that was well designed.
Yeah, I
And
liked
it
the
looked really
slums.
I like the mall, like the broken mall level.
Yeah, with all the
tentacles.
tentacles. Yes.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
that was a good part. There was a lot of cool levels.
Yeah.
I just agree that the astral plane. Whenever I went in there, I was like, I don't really care for this. I liked fighting all the
stuff in like
chimeras and stuff like that
real
inside
world.
the actual real world.
Yeah.
Made it feel more real. There was more sounds going around. There were
Yeah,
side characters.
No, that makes sense.
Plot. So the story.
Pretty fucking cookie cutter to me.
Not much you could do about it. It's part of life. There's evil things. We don't know where they started from in this game, leading open for a 2.
We've used the power of the evil things to make our things good.
Yeah, so we have the evil things. They're just blue now, so they're good. And then we use it to fight other evil things.
yeah.
And then there's a guy who's obviously bad the whole time.
yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Very standard anime. If you didn't also foresee at some point, like, you're going to have to fight your sister or brother in that, or that there was going to be...
They're gonna be evil, but not actually evil.
yeah, like, all of that. Like, if you didn't see anything in that plot coming...
you need to watch more.
Still, the thing is, the gameplay is good enough that it makes up for, like, lacking plot sections. Like, I didn't expect... You know, like a lot of people would say, like, you know, The Last of Us or something like that's a shit game. So I'm not going to compare it to that.
Fuck off.
But like the story wise element, like it's not going to be one of those games.
No, it's not there for the storytelling. It's dumb anime shit. You just want to fight.
Yeah, there are some sections though. My favorite section of the game was the hermit section, which there was a lot of like little story going on there too. You know, it's like
I thought they could have built up your character as a detective a bit more.
after like file 6 or 7, most of the time you don't even have to like. They stop doing the thing with like the keywords where someone asks you about it and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, like this, and then
Yeah, those are
that's
cool. I
right.
like those.
Yeah, they should have done that the whole game.
That was-
it made you feel cool. It made you feel like Batman. You know.
It was such like a different like gameplay element that I really wasn't expecting going in, and it was a good like pace breaker as far as
Yeah, and like combat stuff like that. It also like towards the beginning of the game when like the file finished and it's like how many like keywords did you get kind of thing. At the beginning I had all of them because I was like, oh, I need these. But towards the end of the game, like you didn't need them for most stuff. So a lot of times it was like a 1 out of 4, and I was like, I didn't even know I was looking for these.
Yeah,
Like,
they're just like, what did you need? I was like, oh, hopefully this is it. 'cause that's all I found.
I think that would have been cool if they kept that up, kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all of us can agree that story wasn't mind blowing. They still enjoyable. There were some story parts that I think played out really well.
They should have done like a detective mission where you went into like Yosef's office or something, and then you like investigate.
Yeah, you investigate around using like your iris and stuff like that.
Now, did you play with the game like almost the entire time with Iris on?
No, I hated iris on.
Oh, I had it on like almost the
I
entire
only
game.
did it when I needed to. We'll get into most of the other stuff in the next part because I think that's really all we can talk about
Yeah.
for like the
We got
plot.
gameplay.
Yeah, gameplay is going to be probably the biggest section, right?
Yeah.
We'll start with the battle system.
Holy fuck, that battle system's dope.
So addictive.
When you
So,
start
so
off,
addictive.
it's like it's not a lot when you start off, but it's still like it doesn't feel that smooth kind of thing.
I
Like
picked it up right away.
controlling your legion at the same time as your main character, it's
Yeah.
like it's not like great anything like that. But as you go through, it definitely gets better.
like having played it now. When you saw me play it like over here once, right? And you're like, I don't know, like I was like, yo, you should try this. You're like, oh, the battle system seems a little complicated. I feel like I'd have to sit down and kind of learn it. It looks like a lot's going on. Do you think that's still truthful? Do you think that someone
No.
who you could pass?
I think it would still take explaining. Like, it's one of those games I'm glad I did the tutorial, or else I feel like I'd be missing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of it too, as I said, I didn't really like level up or anything till like 6th or 7th file, so I wasn't using like my abilities and stuff. There's a lot of extra stuff I wasn't doing, but like it was still good though. Like the battle system, even without leveling up and getting, it means the fights were a little tougher, but I just had a good time.
I loved using the chain. Like I loved the ability to wrap around.
Oh yeah,
it.
and like the stopping, like running people, like throwing them back.
Yeah,
and
the best
clotheslining them.
one like that felt. So use the Sword Legion. You bind them up, and then you do the Legion Link attack, and
Yeah.
like you jump in and you just go fucking.
see,
nuts.
I like doing the the bind and then link attack on the axe guy was also really sick. The axe guy was the first guy I maxed, so I finished his entire tree and that kind of stuff. But like there were some story parts you couldn't do with him. He was so slow.
He's too slow.
You like couldn't do any sort of platforming with him.
Nope. I
So-
switched to the Sword Legion immediately. And
I even added on like Legion movement speed plus 20%. It still didn't really help. And
he's supposed to be the slow boy.
I know.
I used mostly the arm one,
Arm was my favorite.
and then the arrow one for like further distances.
Yeah, if I ever swapped to the gun for some bosses, I'd also swap to the arrow because you had better link attacks with the gun and the arrow and stuff like that. But
I like how you had to use like obviously they're going to do something like this, but how you had to use like the sword to cut through things or
yeah, like all the like the L abilities, the ability.
So the sword ability, like where you pinpoint your cut, that's from Metal Gear Rising.
Oh, okay.
That's actually and this is, when you finish off an enemy and they go and grab the juicy bit and you heal from it.
Yeah.
That's
juicy bit.
That's from Metal Gear.
Okay.
All the enemies had like this heart and it had like nano machine blood in it. So you would cut them and then grab that out
I actually
and heal
didn't
from
like doing that, but it healed you, so I had to do it all
Yeah.
the time. But I it's just the same animation every single enemy. So when you're fighting like 10 in a row and you each time, it feels less special.
Oh, I only did it to heal.
If there were like different ones, or like one of the times I like threw my sword through it or something like that, then my
Yeah.
legion catches it. Or
they should have altered.
if there was like even 3 different ones and it was like one of them randomly. There was also the random one sometimes where it was like more of the timed part.
Yeah.
And they would flash and then you pull.
you
it
got
kind of thing.
extra core
Yeah.
for it. That's all.
But yeah, the gameplay was really fun.
super addictive.
Hearing that, like that sound when you do the link attack, so satisfying. Where it's like, "Twing."
Yeah, the only thing that ruined the gameplay for me was just a little bit like the final file, because there was a lot of hard fights in there, and you're doing it a lot, and then
Yeah.
it wasn't very rewarding. But it didn't like ruin the gameplay. I just mean like I was tired of the gameplay at that point because all those missions I just kept doing them.
The
and it didn't
only
go
boss
anywhere.
I died on was the final boss. The final form.
I didn't die until one of the file missions. Did you do any of the 13th file missions?
No.
So there's one where you're back inside like the lab and all the Akiras are down there again, each with their own legion. And then after like you fight like 15 of them at one time, and then also this like big ass chimera spawns and you have to fight that at the same time. I got wrecked like 7 times. That was the first time I ever died.
Oh yeah, no. Just the last boss about 4% HP because I forgot to buy some.
Not like the
healing items.
orb, I'm assuming.
No, like the human-ish.
That's a very like that last boss where you're just like fighting the core kind of thing.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of like Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
the last boss is always just like the goofiest.
Yeah. Even Persona, like sometimes the bosses are goofy as fuck, but
Yeah. I do think though, like you were saying before, that I liked all the parts where the gameplay was. I think the reason I got tired of the gameplay at the end is because there was nothing cutting it in between. But like
Yeah.
doing like a high amount of gameplay and then you go into like the detective spots or like the hermit place, for instance, that was like a full hour of like barely any fighting. Like you
And
fight a little bit, but
it was a nice little break. Like I felt like while I was doing the detective missions, I was like, oh, I can't wait to fight again. And then when I was fighting, I was like, oh, I can't wait to do another detective mission.
yeah. The only thing I'd wish is that they would have kept the detective stuff a little bit more going to the end.
it makes sense to not do it at the end though. Like it's like the point. It's not like you're like, oh, where was he eating his breakfast? Oh, McDonald's. Okay, we gotta go to McDonald's, everyone. Like,
So speaking of the gameplay, how did you guys like stealth missions? Because a lot of people don't like stealth missions in games.
I don't mind stealth missions, but this one's really easy because you just like crouch and then get close to them and you just
and then
find them.
and then you chain them up.
Yeah, there's no penalty to like
Yeah, there's also no like you can literally get caught and then choose to fight them and then wrap
the
them
first
up
one.
too.
Yeah, the first one I fought. The second one with the olive.
Yeah.
You
Did you
had
do
to-
the side mission where you have to do it too? That was my favorite side mission.
No.
Oh, there's one where you there's a fellow police officer named like Billy, and he's acting kind of suspicious. Then he has some friends walk by, and then
Yeah. Where the two people are in the restaurant and they have to tail them to the.
No.
No, this is in the.
Oh, okay, then I
this is
missed
like a
that
big
one.
side mission though. So you basically Billy tells you that these fellow officers are like he thinks they're stealing like police equipment. All the shit's going down.
Yeah.
So it's like it's another big stealth mission. You got to follow all these guys without getting caught, and then at the end there's a couple fights against Billy with them, and at the end you get Billy's sunglasses as your costume.
Did you get the crow?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, I got a head thing and it's literally just a crow that flaps its.
Oh, I got like the cat hollow mask and the box. Did you get the box?
I got Lappy's hat and I wore that the entire game.
Oh, but did you get the Metal Gear Solid box?
yeah, I did. Yeah.
or there's a hollow cat mask. There's a bunch of cool
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I think that's kind of a good reward for doing side stuff.
My favorite mission is still the one where you play as Lappy.
Yeah,
Those are
You
good-
run
that was a
around and
good
you're like
mission.
flopping around.
Did
in
you
the big
play
costume.
the Lappy balloon game?
I did. I
Yes.
beat her high score.
So that was good. Speaking of other gameplay, did you guys do the missions where you have to move all the trucks out of the way?
Yes, it took me forever, but I did it.
The very first mission took me so long, but then after that, I kind of got the hang of it.
The
other
third
ones
one took
were-
me way too long.
The other ones were all kind of crushed through. Did you do those?
no,
Really?
I didn't do them. No.
So the only way I figured out how to do it, I didn't know you could call your legion back
to you,
and
yeah.
reset.
Yeah, you had
I was
to.
I was trying to figure it out. It's like big brain.
Do you know which missions we're talking about?
I have no idea.
At one point, you talk to Jin, and he's
yeah.
basically like, "Hey, like there are some trucks in the way." So it goes into this top-down view. There's like this yellow line, and you have to make sure all these cars are out of the way. So it's top-down, but you have to make your legion like push them around
the
and
arm
stuff
legion
like that.
push?
Well, that's cool.
But there's like 3 sets of it, and they get harder each time. And basically, it's like if you do them in under this many moves, you get an extra prize. If you do it under a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
So it was fun though. I tried to do every different weird side mission I could
Yeah.
to kind of get the full
It's
grasp.
kind of cool how they have that variety though, and they at least try some different.
This
things.
game's just a JoJo game, by the way. And I know you don't watch JoJo, but like when you use the arm legion and you punch a bunch of times, it's literally just the like.
Yeah,
the
that was
stand
the best
fights.
part of the Arm Legion.
Oh,
like
so
getting
good.
in it.
Yeah, so good.
Difficulty. We obviously talked about like you only died once.
I
at
only
the
died
end.
the once.
I only died right after the game ended in one of the first files, or the 13th file.
I never had a hard time with the final boss, but on the Janna fight, like where the platforms are like appearing and stuff.
Yeah, I fell off a bunch.
See, I
yeah.
did that level flawlessly.
See, there was a bunch of times because like I went too fast a lot of times. Like I wanted to be like really fast, but like sometimes like the angle was kind of off, so I just like fall off, and I wouldn't even understand how I did. I thought I was on the platform, but then you'd obviously just get pulled up and that kind of stuff, and it was
I think if I did it on the TV, it would be different. But I played most of the game.
yeah. I played that on handheld as well.
Once again, all TV.
I played the final area, pretty much from probably from 10 and 11. I played on the TV just to
I
kind of
still
see
didn't
the
play it
end.
on the TV. I played most of the beginning on the TV, like the first couple of files. The rest of it all handheld with my new controllers with like the
Didn't you start playing this when you had the issue with your Joy-Cons?
No, I was playing. I bought these Joy-Cons. I think like right before I started playing
okay.
Astral Chain. I bought the Daemon X Machina ones. Obviously, this was a fun game for me though. Like I hate sprints on sticks.
Like click sticking, yeah.
So I changed from the push in to like the back button that's right by the fingers, anyways, and I enjoyed it so much more after that. And then I had the item button X on the other back one, so it was real quick scrolling through items instead of me having to move my hand off the right stick.
Yep.
So it played really well with the controllers, which is why I played it in a lot of handheld. I really liked it.
That's fair, I guess. I played it with a pro controller the entire time.
Would you guys play it again on harder difficulty? Like,
Yes.
Would you
Yeah.
think it'd be fun on a harder difficulty?
Yeah, because I'm wondering if you play it now. This is kind of a bigger spoiler to it. The Unchained mode. Holy shit, that was satisfying. That's my favorite boss fight in the game.
Which one? Like the
Where
one where you're both
Akira and you are like berserked and you're fighting. Holy shit!
very cinematic. At one point, you're just like smashing each other, like slashing each other, and it's just like the
Yeah.
front on.
where you're mashing the
yeah, it's
like
like the front
triggers.
on view. Yeah, it was a good. Obviously, like you're not going to lose that fight, but it was like a good cinematic.
It was
fight.
so cool. Like I was like, Jess was watching me. Meg was over too, and I was just like, I'm gonna turn into a cool monster, aren't I? I'm gonna turn into a cool monster. And then it stopped. It's just like you hit the 2 buttons, and I'm like, holy fuck, here we
The
go.
only thing I'll say about that mode is I only got to use it like 2 times.
I bet you if you replay old levels, you get to use it.
Hopefully, because like towards the end, a lot of times the battles were so quick I didn't actually have it charged up by that point. Even if I did everyone I walked
It charges
by.
up through link attacks, so
I was crushing link attacks, so I was linking all the
because
time.
you can do them for perfect dodges, which are also really satisfying.
So good.
Where it's like slows down, you're like, I did it. It was me.
Yeah,
I
I-
dodged.
That was like my favorite part, even early on in the game.
Yeah.
like it was very nice. And then you like do like the flying jump kick thing.
That's so good.
It's so much fun.
Because then you can combo into it and get a little bit of an aerial combo.
I definitely feel like I've been spoiled on action games now that I've played.
God of War, Astral Chains, and DMC.
Yeah, like, I'm
you're
just
gonna have
like-
a fucking hard time now.
The bar is just set so high now. It's so
The rest
good.
of them will all be trash.
Exactly.
Every other one.
Like action wise, I think Astral Chains and DMC are like neck and neck. God of War's a different style of action game. I put it more into like the category of the Souls games because it's not as octane.
No.
It's very much more grounded. Like it's more precise in your attacks. You're not just like you're not trying to do 800 things at once. In God of War, you're literally like slash attack, like dodge. Like it's very much a Souls game. but it's not. It's a style where
It's a lot heavier.
yeah, where DMC and Astral Chains, it's like how many cool things can we get them to do in this amount of time, and they're gonna love it, and it's true.
Absolutely.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
very different feels overall. Yeah, I really liked God of War, like because of its feel. Everything felt like really high impact and heavy and that kind of stuff. Well, games like Astral Chain, it feels much more like you're just like triple flipping, and it's much faster, much lighter, stuff like that. But both good.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying God of War is bad, because it's not. It's a great game. I'm just saying there's different types of action games. There's the grounded ones and like the faster ones.
Yeah. So the next part's sound. I'll say it right now. The best is just when you're in the hub area. The song in there, I always thought was
The
fantastic.
themes that play, like with the vocals, like in some of the boss battles when they started and their theme started playing.
Like when you're fighting, I think it's Akira, just when it's been revealed, like the clones of her, and they play the one song with the vocals.
Yeah, that one.
That one's so good.
It
They
started
all
playing.
when they all just take the helmets off and
Yeah.
drop them on the ground.
I was like,
And
let's
you're
go.
we all knew
I honestly thought it was going to be his dad for a second. I was like,
they were way too small.
I know, and then I was like, it's dad, but he's too small. And then I'm like, oh, he's definitely Akira.
I mean, the
Okay.
whole time I was waiting for whatever, because Akira stayed in like the hospital spot, and I was like, oh, what fucking evil shit's this guy gonna
Yeah,
do
yeah,
to
exactly.
her?
And then all
when-
the clones.
Yeah, and then when she wasn't like super evil, even though she had like the kind of evil like Raven looking outfit.
Yeah.
But then like when all the people are with her, like when it first shows like the Ravens, I'm like, oh yeah, they're all just like
Well,
clones.
and then Hal's just like, oh, watch out for crows. And I'm like, you mean Raven?
yeah, Hal, you
Ooh.
dumbass. If Hal would have known better, I could have
Oh,
predicted
you
this.
stupid fuck.
Yeah, get outside. I'm actually kind of sad there was no
You don't
part
get to
you
see
met
him at all. Yeah.
I thought it
you
would
get to see his
happen towards the
hologram self
end.
where he's got like bandaged eyes. And I'm like, okay, this is Platinum. But
Yeah.
Platinum always does that with sound. Like Metal Gear, I keep bringing up Metal Gear, but every boss had a theme and it was like a full song. It wasn't like just a background thing. Like there were vocals, and the vocals would kick in during, like, for example, the Berserk fight where you're like mashing the buttons. It would pop in during spots like that, and the vocals would kick in perfectly. It is an amazing video game. You should play it. I know he won't, so that's why I'm pointing to you. You should play
Is
it.
it on Game Pass?
I doubt it. It's PS3 and 360, so like it's older, but it's good. You should play it.
Is it on PlayStation Now?
Probably.
No one uses PlayStation Now.
No, dog, no.
Persona 5's on PlayStation now.
Was it actually?
Yeah.
That's fair, but it's Persona 6.
No.
But yeah, voice acting. It's average.
It's pretty classic anime game.
Yeah.
I think the voice acting was better than most other like anime style games. It was much more toned down.
Yeah.
There wasn't like that, other than like Kyle obviously was very over dramatic, and like Yosef was overly evil.
I don't think Yuri Lowenthal's in the game.
If he might have been one of the side characters,
Or Liam O'Brien. Like he would not. None of the.
I would have recognized the Liam O'Brien.
Yeah, I know,
for sure,
but you know the anime like opening that popped up and it said this played by this. This didn't recognize a single name. So I honestly like that.
I recognize the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a lot of things.
I didn't pay attention to the name. It wasn't the one. It wasn't like Liam O'Brien, Laura Bailey. It wasn't anybody like that popped up, and I was like, oh, I know them from every other anime game that's under the sun.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of anime games. They have like the super overdone voice acting. Like I think this game actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't that cheesy for the most part. I think all of it was pretty toned down compared to normal.
Yeah.
Other than like, I don't know, maybe like Jenna was a little too dramatic sometimes, but I don't know.
What Jenna isn't.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say.
true. Fair point. We haven't met one to date.
Hashtag Jenna dramatic.
There's not tons to say on the sound. I think overall it was good sound.
Sound
but
was
do
great.
You guys know what I'm talking about? Like how big of a bop it was when you're inside like the police station.
Yeah. It was
nice.
That was really good. When I first heard that, I was like, oh yeah.
It wasn't as good as like
Persona.
some of the musics and Persona music, but I'm not comparing the music to Persona. But no, I found the battle theme, or some of the battle themes, to be just over the top amazing. Like I will buy the soundtrack to this game.
See, a lot of times I like soundtracks, and I'll consider this one too, that like I don't notice that much all the time, but like it fits in. Like it's getting you hyped when you're in the boss battle, stuff like that. I don't need to I don't want it to be so obnoxious. I'm like not paying attention to the actual game play and just hearing it. But when like I think about it later, I'm like, oh yeah, like that boss fight was really epic. It's like what made it epic was probably the sound.
Oh, without
Just
sound,
in,
it would
like,
be awful.
Yeah.
Or without, like they had really good sound effects too.
Yeah, like I said,
Like, all
the blue shimmer sound that
all the
popped up.
the chaining sounds, that kind of stuff.
The legions coming out going roar, like that was cool.
Yeah.
Even like when you hit things, the sounds that come with it too. It made
Very
it sound
satisfying.
satisfying.
The only noise I hated in the entire game was the searching things with your dog. The beep 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 beep. I fucking hated that. Now.
Well, if you turned your iris off every now and then, you would have been fine.
nah, dog.
So the last thing is just mainly so post game thoughts. So we obviously only one of us paid for this game, which is pretty nice.
Thanks, Phil.
Can't go wrong with that. That's one of the beautiful things. But like, would you pay for it now? Like, what price do you think this game would be worth it at? Are you going to play it again? Stuff like that.
Can I interlude
Will there be
for
a
a second?
second
Okay,
one?
that's what I was going to say. Will there be a sequel?
I think so.
100% yes.
Absolutely.
I think this is one of their most successful selling games, like Platinum themselves. So I would not be
I
surprised.
feel
if it gets a
really
sequel.
bad for them though that the game came out when it did, and we talked about
true,
that
yeah.
on the previous
Yeah.
podcast.
Honestly, if I so this will go into it. I would have bought it day one if it didn't come out when it did.
Yeah.
And I would have paid full price for it, and I would have been happy to have paid full price for that game. This game, phenomenal. Like,
See, it wouldn't have been a game, even if it, like, depending on what time it came out, it probably wouldn't have been a game I would have bought day one for full price, just because it's never been my style.
Yeah.
But like picking up for free, it's a game I really enjoyed, and I can't go wrong with it. So now I'd, like, in hindsight, I probably still wouldn't have picked it up day one for full price, but like if it went down eventually to like $39-$49, I would have picked that up, and it would have been a great
Well,
buy.
that was the thing. So, I had a bit of Christmas money, and I think EB had it on sale for $59, and I was like, kind of hemming and hawing about it, and then I was like, you know what? I don't foresee this game ever dropping down again.
any cheaper than that anytime soon.
So I might as well just pick it up. And I looked at the trade-in value too, and I saw that, hey, if I don't like this, or if I beat it really soon, I can just trade it in pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's not like a huge loss. 59
exactly.
maybe trades back in for like 34, 35.
Yeah, and maybe do it on a double trade-in day or something. But and it was a pretty big risk. But a lot of the reviews that I saw said it was a really good game, and it seemed like something different. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I don't regret it at all. I don't know if I would have paid the $79 for it, because it's a little steep for me just for the amount of content.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's a game that a lot of people should play, and it's worth at least $60.
And it's a good Switch game.
yeah.
Like, it plays extremely well on the Switch, even though like it seems very high quality.
I can see it becoming a cult game where a lot of people are going to miss out on it now, but when it comes to next generation, then they're going to be like, oh, Astral Chain, and they're going to look for it. And even going into like I've been into EB since, and I've been to like Walmart and stuff, and I honestly can't find a copy of it. Like, it doesn't look like it's a game that's in stock very often.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, like anytime I went in, I never saw it. So
I think it's they definitely left it open for a sequel because they didn't explain pretty much anything to do with like where the chimeras came from.
they didn't show where your dad was.
No, but they imply where your dad was though.
They imply, but unless I see it, it doesn't happen.
Because like the Legion holds your hand at one point, and you're like, "Why you hold my hand, Legion? You don't know me like that."
Yeah.
But they didn't finish the story being like, "Oh, after this, all the legions disappeared and the world went back to being sweet." Yeah. You know, it's like, yeah, there's like less chimera attacks, but
Yeah.
they're still there. So there's a lot of room. It could be with the same characters. It could be a different main character in like the same world.
Yeah.
You know, make reference to like Akira and stuff like that. Because, you know, one of them's still alive.
Spoiler.
The main criticism I have with the game, and which prevents it from being like a 10 out of 10 game for me, is that one, I would have liked it maybe 5 more hours longer. And two, I would say that all of the side stuff, like the bike stuff and the detective stuff, I just wish there was a little bit more.
It was underutilized.
If they added maybe 2 or 3 more hours of extra stuff like that, then it would have been a 10 out of 10 game
So
for me.
do you have the option of just going back and playing individual files, or do you have to
I believe
restart
so,
it each
yeah.
Yeah,
time?
you can.
Okay, I was going to say, that's a good call.
Because I think you can just straight up, similar to DMC, you could pick the same level but do it a difficulty higher. And so, like, if you're really stuck
Yeah,
in
each
level, you
time
can
you would
skip
like
that
unlock
one.
the next difficulty
Yeah.
kind of thing. I don't, it's like file 13 or what was it, 12?
12, yeah.
12 is the gauntlet.
I
at the
didn't
end.
need that. Let's-
72, yeah.
Yeah, I
72
guess.
side
I guess
missions.
it's like, hey, if you've already done all the missions on all the difficulties, and you're like, I still want to fight more. I guess that's why it's there.
Yep.
But
I think that's how you unlock all the costumes and shit like that.
yeah, it made me think that like by doing it, there was going to be something extra.
Yeah,
and
and
then when I started getting into it, I was like, oh no, thank you.
And I looked it up because I was like, oh, is this going to reveal the true ending? And nope. it gives you like the real final boss, but it doesn't have any sort of like epilogue or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I would have guessed. After beating it, you get like some sort of extra scene because thinking like games like Nier Automata.
Yeah, they like their hidden bosses.
Yeah, they're like their extra endings and their secret bosses and stuff like that. So,
but I had a lot of fun with it. I'm glad I took the chance, and I'm excited to see what they do with the IP going forward. And I think it's one of the best exclusive Switch games, especially not developed by.
I was gonna say this is probably my best, like favorite non-Nintendo exclusive.
I don't know if I said this on the podcast or if I just said it to maybe one or two of you before. It might have been on the podcast about Xenoblade.
Yeah.
That's what I want in the future. I want them to team up, and when they come up with a new Xenoblade game, like not the remastered, make this the combat because it's
I think
perfect.
that's too much for like
No, I don't
RPG
care.
battles.
Make
but
this the combat. Boom,
yeah,
done.
Who knows? But
Because it's like the same type of style, like the same like system with like a thing on a chain and stuff like that. Like,
Do you still
it'd be cool.
have Xenoblade 2?
No,
no,
Damn.
Jimmy does. Pretty sure you can ask him to borrow. it.
probably. I would just wait till Xenoblade 1 comes out.
Yeah, I'll try the first one.
Yeah, the first one is better. But
I heard the DLC for the second one's probably better than the first one. But
yeah, it's true. They fixed the battle system and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But
Rating time. So final rating, we'll just do it at 10.
okay, who wants to go first?
Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Phil beat it first, so let Phil go first.
For me, it's a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. That's for me.
I was also going to say 7.5, so I'll stick with 7.5. But like 7.5 makes it sound, for some reason, it always sounds worse than it is.
No.
But I also always have the feeling that people rate things too highly. So like when I say 7.5, I mean that's like a positive, especially for someone who doesn't like action games.
Like I love the game, but as I said, those things that I just mentioned are what's preventing me from putting it a little bit higher. Now, the game did not need to be 40 hours or anything for me to like it, but it actually kind of made me want to play more.
I think the length of the game was what it needed to be.
Yeah.
I think more.
Well, we
and
discussed
you would
this
have
today too. Is it? I think Phil's file was yours the longest. How long did it take you?
I'm 16 maybe.
Okay, mine was almost 19.
And mine was 14:55.
Yeah.
I thought for some reason I thought yours was 20. I don't remember.
No, I like on the Switch, I think it shows that I'm just over 15 hours.
A lot of my extra was probably doing like the file 12 at the end because I did, as I said, I did a bunch of them, and like some of them took a long time. Phil would have got an extra hour if he did the truck moving one.
That's true.
All three levels of that. That could have been an hour right there.
Oh, jeez.
So what's your rating?
Honestly, I'm giving it a solid like 8.5. I think it's a stellar game. I'm super excited to see, like I said, what they do with the IP in the future. And it's
Maybe you'll get your wish and it'll be Astral Chains next time.
maybe no, it'll be the Astral Chain.
Oh, perfect.
But it's probably in my top 5 Switch games.
Oh, yeah.
Like total.
Astral 2 Chains.
Oh my
Sold
God.
it. No,
And he
kidding.
can do the theme song for it.
That's something I'd love to hear.
Genius. I guess we'll have to wait.
Yeah.
Maybe soon we'll have a podcast when they announce Astral Chains 2.
Hey there, fancy meeting you here. If you want to see any of our older videos, they're in the section on the left there. On the top, you can see our previous videos. On the bottom, you can see every other one we've had. If you want to be a cool guy, you can hit that subscribe button. It's right in the center, right here. I'm waiting. You can do it anytime. I got nowhere to go.